You'll be successful, and thanks to your sage insight and guidance along the way, we believe we are on the path. So our deadline for accepting applications into the program, either as a mentor or mentee, is coming up this Friday, the 25th, I believe that is. And at that point, then our committee will be getting back together and doing that pairing, looking at whose skill set will complement whose needs, and facilitating that those linkages between the exclusive mentor-mentee pairs. And we'll kick off the program.
It's really important to try to pair, although you never always can get a perfect match.
Of course,
to really try to match them in ways that they have outlined that they want. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
Well,
who's
that's
to
with
say,
people.
You know, there's an expression, who's to say what's good and who's to say what's bad. And we have had many mismatches where people initially have said, this mentor isn't right for me.
Really?
And then we go back and we say, why don't you give it a little time, get together. Don't look at the outside, see what they can bring. And they'll come back and say, yeah, we worked it out and it's great, and the collaboration is great, and they go on to have a very successful mentorship.
Wow, so that's an additional learning and development experience right there, working and finding a partner who at first you would think this isn't going to work, and growing from there.
Well, the thing is, there's no choice. Because if it doesn't
As
work,
with many things in life,
if it doesn't work, they're just out of luck, because we at Arnie don't have backups. If it doesn't work and you can't figure out how to make it work, then you don't get to have a pair. And our belief is that you can always find something in someone that can give you guidance, wisdom, knowledge, insights. And some people just, they immediately look at the person and look at maybe their background and think, this person can't help me.
Yes, because I am in pharmaceutical, therefore I only want to talk with someone who's in pharmaceutical, for example.
And once they get to meet with them and talk to them, everyone can give leadership expertise or insights into the business world or insights into negotiating or how to deal. You don't have to be in a specific industry. There are many skill sets that one can offer that kind of cross over. Thank you. Cross over different arenas, if you will. So we're all very excited about the mentoring program, and to see how it shapes and turns out. And luckily, it's only a pilot. And it's going to go from when?
Well, it's a 6-month pilot, so we're going to launch the program May 1st. Hopefully we'll have a kickoff meeting or a kickoff breakfast, something where the mentors and the mentees can come together.
And that's powerful.
Meet each other, in an exclusive setting. And then so it'll run for 6 months, so through November. And then at the end, we will, of course, have a debrief, find out what worked, what didn't.
That's great.
That way, when we launch the full year program in January of 2012, we'll have
and hopefully you'll get a lot more people coming into the fold, and
that's the goal,
and seeing the value of it. It does take time.
Oh, of course. And that's been our track record with HRNY as well. You have some of the early adopters who say, yes, I want to get in here and do this, and then others who kind of lay back and say, well, let's see, I'm not sure if this is for me. And then when they see, hey, this is a cool program, I need to get here, and that's where we grow to the 100 like you have.
It does. It did not happen when we started it in 97. Who knew that it would evolve into what it is today?
Wow.
Really, we had no clue, and it started small, and it built and built and built. And I think in the 4 years that I have been either chair or we had a co-chair, we have really grown the program with the type of ideas and events that we're bringing to it to keep it alive and keep it valuable.
Keep it fresh.
And there's always some where it doesn't work out.
Well,
and that's just the way it is.
We do what we can. We can't please everyone all of the time. Unfortunately, we would like to do that.
That's true. That is true. So, Jennifer, in your real life,
are you saying HRNY isn't real?
Well, but in the flip side of what you do professionally, tell us a little bit about Astron Solutions, which is the company that Jennifer is part of.
Sure. Well, Astron Solutions, I'm a founding partner and national director of the firm. And we are a compensation and human resource consulting firm headquartered here in New York City. And in terms of our business, we primarily have 4 different service lines that we provide. First being traditional compensation consulting, and that sounds very jargony. Plain English, what that means is we help companies, nonprofit organizations, figure out how much should they pay their employees. There is a science behind what goes into a paycheck, whether it's somebody's hourly wage, or a sales commission, or a bonus, or an incentive plan, and we have the science cookbooks, if you will, behind the scenes and the expertise to make that work in so many different types of organizations. We also have a proprietary web-based talent management suite called Flair, which is designed to help organizations that want to take a lot of their HR practices, like writing job descriptions, doing performance appraisals, succession planning, get that out of Microsoft Office or paper and pencil, get it onto the web in a fully configurable component modular type of structure. So that's another large part of our service offering. We also do a lot of work with different types of employee surveys. So from your onboarding new hire surveys through your traditional climate surveys to exit interviews, finding out what do people like or not like about their employers and how can we fix any issues before turnover happens, before we lose that talent to our competition.
Wow.
And last but certainly not least, we have an integrated learning management system with over 150 different courses where either organizations or individuals can go online and take courses in finance or accounting or HR topics to continue to help their learning and development without taking out the time for a classroom type setting.
Whoa, and just throw your website out there if anyone wants to contact you.
Sure, we are www.astronsolutions.com, and Astron is spelled A-S-T-R-O-N, like astronomy.
Oh, Astron. Yes. Wow. So interestingly that you provide these services, and what makes a company want to outsource these services rather than having them in-house?
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, there's a couple decision points that an organization might consider and come across. First is, do they have the staff in-house to be able to do this type of work? There is a significant onboarding cost in terms of buying the salary surveys or acquiring the research that we use in our jobs. And with tight budgets, particularly in human resource departments today, they don't always have the capital to invest in that research or that literature. So that's one option. The second is if they don't have enough time. Our work tends to be very time intensive, and again, with HR departments being stretched thin, they may have experienced layoffs when the economy went down a little bit. They just can't get to everything, and that's another opportunity for them to say, let's outsource this to people who do have the time and the expertise. And there are certain instances, for instance, in the nonprofit sector, the IRS has what's called intermediate sanctions for executive compensation. So meaning the executive director of a nonprofit, according to those rules, they would need to outsource to a third-party consultant to make sure that that compensation is appropriate for that particular position. So there might be some legal forces that are driving that, monetary or time constraints as well.
See, thank you. A lot of kind of navigating and looking at this landscape. And would you say that some of this outsourcing is due to the economy and people are lowering or